Welcome, everyone, to our daily success call for Thursday, the 17th of June. Thank you for reminding me what day it is, 2021. John Lavenia here at your service. And I do see some of my favorite peoples on planet Earth. Let's look at these good peoples. There's Missy. Of course, there's Missy, right? There's David. Good to see you, brother. Rebecca, Ngayo. I see Alana. Actually, I see her picture. It looks awesome. We got Robert here. Judith. Good to see Jan and Ryan, my new friend Ryan, I just made over there in the UK. There's Susan and Tracy. Lisa's got some sort of Christmas cookies as her picture. I don't know if you guys can see that. So she must be the cookie queen. Good times. Good to see everyone. All right. So what are we going to do now? We're going to go back on speaker view and we're going to have a quick conversation about some fun stuff that came up today, actually, in our live welcome sessions. Let me say this, first of all of you going through the accelerator process, that is just super cool what Rachel and the crew have prepared for you there. We start that whole process, and hopefully you've all been through this with at least one live welcome session with me. And part of that is because they asked me, when they asked me to come in and work with this awesome group in this community, well, how would you like to, initiate, whatever, community type processes and whatever you're doing? I was like, I definitely want a live welcome session. And here's why. Because so often on the internet, people wonder, what is real? You know what the number one question is on the internet, whether people can vocalize this or not. Who can I trust? That's the number one question on people's minds. Now, of course, you're all engaging in e-commerce, right? You're going to be using technology as what, a communication line, as a sales channel between, purveyor of product and, purchaser of product. And we're going to do it via platforms, right? Plural. You've got Amazon and Etsy and eBay and whatever. You can have, AlanaIsAwesome.com. You can have, whatever, right? There's lots of different platforms, but platforms also have a bit of credibility to them, right? So does anyone here go on Amazon and wonder, can I trust that they're actually going to ship the product? No, it's developed itself as, okay, Rebecca, got it. I see you. So it's, for the most part, and there's no absolutes, okay, but for the most part, people, even let's say, here's a senior citizen who has never transacted online before. Oh, I'm going to put my credit card number on the interwebs, right? Who can I trust, right? That's the question that's coming up in their mind. Oh, but Amazon is a multi-billion-dollar company. And, that's just one example of a big, relatively trustworthy, sort of a platform that we're selling through. But keep in mind that still the question remains, right? What can I count on? What can I rely on? And hopefully one of the answers to that is I can rely on myself, which is where we're going here today. I can rely on myself. So if you trust yourself, well, then I guess you've got, the capacity to trust another, in this case, via some sort of a platform. Trust actually is a big deal because it's all of society wouldn't work if there wasn't some degree of mutual trust between us earthlings, right? So let's say you get a bottle of water off the shelf at the grocery store or something. You open it, you put it into your body. Do you trust that the water was purified or to the standards or is it like right out of the toilet? Well, there's a certain level of trust that comes with that, right? So I know this may sound silly, but you'll see how this all comes together, as well, hopefully you will, as I hear whatever words come out of my mouth. So that's why I like to have the personal interaction with people. So often in, not just on the internet, okay, but just in going to events and doing all the stuff that I've been involved in for decades now. There are people at the back of the room, and we could do this on the internet as well, mentally in the back of the room. He's talking to everybody else. He's not talking to me. I'm kind of an outsider, I'm just kind of, I'm going to sit here with my arms crossed and, be skeptical or whatever. And because, again, what's the number one question, whether we're vocalizing it or not? Who can I trust, right? Is this going to serve me? Is this going to bring me in the direction of my goals, right? Or is this going to lead me astray, which many of you have seen, which compounds and adds to the consideration, right? How many of us is this our first ever run with business? Like we've never tried anything entrepreneurial ever before. This is the very first time we've ever even considered. Okay, couple hands. Okay, but for most of us, right, this isn't like first rodeo, right? We've done something entrepreneurial before. And look, even those who've raised their hands, look back and think, you know, sell Girl Scout cookies, right? That wasn't like a commission sales, you know, sort of a deal or something. Although, did you get the prizes, right? You get the rank, you get the, you know, the lapel patch or what have you, right? Did you do in Boy Scouts, did you get the merit badge, you know, for doing some self-initiated act, you know, your good deed, right? So that is something where you're not punching a clock, you're getting paid, so to speak, you're getting paid for a result, right? Which we kind of talked about, was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember when. Okay, but you're getting paid for production, for value delivered into the marketplace, not for how long it took you. Okay, so these are the considerations which again come back to, well, I damn well better at least be able to trust myself that once I've got a proven path or something where I'm going to become a part of instead of apart from, right? I'm going to enroll myself into this mission, this project, these methods, right? And now I'm going to fully enroll myself because half measures avail us nothing. And because I trust me and now I trust that I'm on the right path, let's do it. Now we've got some synergy. Now we can, you know, we can have movement and decisiveness and definiteness of purpose. It's a big, big deal. And on that path, we're going to go ahead and set some goals. And this is where we're going today, because I know we talked about SMART goals. Perhaps it was yesterday. And there's a formula for that. But I got to talking with one of my new friends here, Teresa, who still isn't here. My goodness, I told her we're going to take this topic up. And she said, I've got to pick up the kids and all this, which is why I was thinking busy parent. And so, Teresa, if you're watching the replay, this is all for you. Nobody else, just for you. Okay. Nobody else listen. I often say jokingly, Missy, you'll like this. I often say these sessions are for me. You guys get to listen in, but I, you know, this is for me. I need to hear this stuff. I need reminders all the time. So the idea came up in our welcome session where I got to, you know, interact with people like for real and hopefully, you know, build, you know, a sense of like, this is real. And yeah, you know, this is not like, you know, some wacky online thing where I never get to, you know, talk to anybody and I'm going to go it alone and have no support. And, you know, it's all me. Wow, it's a rough road. I've been on that road a few times. Okay. But hopefully there's a higher level of not only trust, but community and cooperation. By the way, that's part of our pay, is it not? Right. I mean, think about this. You show up at the office. Let's say you have an office job or something. You show up at the office. You're not getting paid what you're worth. I already know that. Okay. But part of your pay is that, you know, we could call psychic pay or emotional pay, right? You get to hang out with Bob at the water cooler and talk about the game and you know, and work cooperatively on a project, right? And hit those goals together, right? You got a team going on, and this may sound a little bit too ideal, depending on whatever your office environment was like. But you've also got the office politics and all the BS. You've got that too. Okay. So you pick your problems. Okay. But there's benefits as well. It's not all problems. So in this case, part of what keeps people showing up in a job that they're underpaid at is the whole community aspect to it. There's something about being a part of instead of apart from. And so I like to be a part of anything. I'm not a spectator, right? And like we kind of brushed lightly on the topic yesterday of cause and effect. I'm not here just as another effect. I'm here as a cause. I'm here to cause something. I'm here to be effective. And in order to be effective, I must be cause over something, right? So, and one of those things that we can be causative in our life about is our goals, which we talked about yesterday. Now, goals are on purpose, let's say mile markers. So we've got this overarching purpose, right? Why are we showing up here in the first place? In business, in life, in whatever your roles are. Okay, so there's roles and there's purposes, and then there's goals that fit into each of the roles in our life. Any of you who've read Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he talked about roles and goals, right? So what's one of your roles? So if we look at, you know, David, he may be a father, right? That could be a role. Also a business person, right? So that's a role. So he mans that post part of the time that he's walking around and sucking air and you know, eating food and everything. So he's manning that post part of the time, right? And he's got these other roles as well. I've got lots of roles in my life, not too many. not too many. The fox that chases two rabbits catches neither. Okay, so you gotta have focus, right? But in these roles, I've got goals. Okay, now let's say as far as business, you've got goals. Fantastic. And if you don't, you will, or nothing's going to happen. Man who shoots at nothing sure to hit it. But within these goals, see, we're chunking it down now. We have targets, and this is the item that was brought up today on our live welcome session, just as a consideration, as a question, and we ran out of time. I said, let's take that up in our daily success call, or the power up, or whatever this is called. So we've got, you guys know I'm not attached to titles, whatever the title is. What is my title? Head janitor. I don't care. We're here for the result, not the, I don't need the, the merit badge or whatever. But we've got targets. So within goals, we can also have targets. And I think the best example I can give you of this, to kind of give you a distinction between goals and targets, and here's my mantra: we reach every goal we set. And you can own that for yourself. That might sound like a lie to you right now, but it won't be for long. Okay. So we reach every goal we set. We could miss lots of targets. I've hit lots of targets. I've missed lots of targets. Okay. But I reach every goal I set. What's the difference? Okay. So think now, so metaphorically speaking, what's a good objective example of this? Golf. Okay, great. Golf. And I'm going to speak as a layman at best. Okay. I'm going to speak as someone who has not pursued nor succeeded to any degree the sport of golf. Okay. So if you were a golfer, you probably have what's called a handicap, right? I don't know why they call it that. Handicap. That sounds like a disadvantage, but apparently, that's like a good thing. I got a handicap. Okay. But you want to achieve, I guess it's a low number. The lower the number, the better, Okay. So my goal is to be, guys, I don't know, is it 70, 80, something? For me, you would have to add a 0 on there, right? However many swings it takes to accomplish 18 holes. And my goal is to beat my best. And my best right now, let's say, is, 78. And my goal is, to be 72 or something. The lower the number, the better. Okay. But within that game, within that 18 holes, okay, the goal of which is to be 72, I guess, strokes in total, if I'm getting the rules right here. You've got hole number 1, which let's say is a par 3. Okay, par meaning this is how many strokes it should take to accomplish this goal, this target, to hit this target. The target, by the way, is a hole in the ground about that big. And we're going to take a ball that's about that big, and we're going to hit it hundreds of yards away. So we're going to start hundreds of yards away from the target, and we're going to use this device, and we're going to put it in that target hundreds of yards away. This sounds terribly masochistic, doesn't it? I'm going to do that 18 times, by the way. Okay, so and guess what? I did it in 4 strokes. In my case, it would probably be 40, but I did it in 4 strokes. Did I hit the target? I missed. The target was 3. The par, it said I should be able to do it if I'm competent. In 3, I missed my target on that 3rd stroke. But then on the 4th stroke, I got it in. And I go to the 2nd hole, and it's a par 4, let's say. Okay. And I get it in 6 strokes. And I go to the 3rd hole, and it's a par 3, and I get it in 2. Or maybe I got that hole in 1, right? Oh my goodness. Yeah. 2. That's an eagle, right? Am I getting, or no, a birdie, something, right? Eagles and birdies.
A birdie, 1 under.
Will I accomplish all 18 holes? 1 under. 1 under par is birdie. Eagle is 2 under, which could be a hole in 1, right? That could be an eagle. It's a par 3, hole in 1, eagle, and hole in 1, right? Okay, got it. So will I accomplish all 18 holes? Yes. Will I do it in 72 strokes or whatever the goal was? Maybe. And maybe next time. Did I hit some targets? Sure. Did I miss some targets? Sure. I still reach every goal I set. So we set standards for ourselves, and sometimes we give ourselves too much time. Let's say in terms of making money, right? I intend to make $10,000 a month by my 2nd month. Okay, fantastic. Is that an on-purpose, like goal-oriented kind of a thing? Yeah, sure. What if it takes you, instead of 8 weeks, 9 or something? You missed the target. Did you reach your goal? Yeah, you did. Right? Would you have been better off not attempting? What if you did it in 7 weeks? Oh, well, that's even better, right? So you exceeded your target, but we reach every goal we set. I could give you another example, just like in my life. Some of you know I'm into the shooting sports, right? And I remember getting instruction from a master. Okay, so I shoot pretty good, but this guy is like unbelievable. And so we were on firing line, and I threw a shot, like it was a bad shot, and my tendency, I don't know if anyone can relate to this, would be like, oh, that sucks. I can't believe I just threw that shot. Throwing a shot means, you were 6 inches off or something. We were looking at really high standards. And he said the correct response to that is not, self-deprecation. He said the correct response to that is, I'm better than that. Watch the next one. I'm better than that. Completely different mindset, right? So not identifying with or owning the failure of having missed the target, okay, but knowing you're going to reach your goal anyway. Let's say in that game, right, the goal would be to have a certain grouping, right? So anyone who knows anything about like shooting sports, right, there's speed and accuracy, and there's the balance of speed and accuracy. And so, the accuracy was off on that one. Maybe the speed was good. What was right about it, right? And guess what? Thousands of iterations, millions of iterations, right? Your ammo bill can be quite high doing this, but the idea is I'm better than that shot that I threw. Completely different experience. So what we've got to do then, regardless of whether we're exceeding or missing our targets, right? Either way, we've got to know that we're going to reach every goal we set. This induces a state of self-esteem, actually. Self-esteem rather than self-deprecation. I know self-deprecation is fashionable, and we could see people doing it all the time on the interwebs, right? Bemoaning their failures and foibles for the world to see on Facebook. Oh my goodness. Okay, speaking it into reality, what we validate expands, right? Keep talking. Keep talking. So the outer dialogue reveals the inner dialogue. Do we expect to reach our goals? Yes or no? If so, why are we so damn attached to targets? What if you don't make the 10,000 that month? You make it in the next couple of weeks. We're building momentum. Nobody knows how to reach a goal until they've reached it. And time, right? We're setting targets now based on time. That's so totally arbitrary. Like, how do you know? But it's educated guess. Nice, educated guess. We talked about this yesterday, it was yesterday, with SMART goals, SMART. T stands for time. Take an educated guess. And look around. I mean, you have examples, demonstrations, evidence that you can use to, edify yourself and have some education. Yeah, sure I do. Sure I do. That doesn't mean I have a crystal ball. My friend Grant Cardone wrote a book called the 10X Principle, or the 10X Method, or 10X something. And the premise of the book is really simple. Is that whatever your goal is, let's 10X that. Right. And in terms of, the correct estimation of effort that it's going to take to reach your goals, let's also 10X that. Right? That may be an oversimplification. There's more to the book than that. But the idea that we can put ourselves in a position to demand more of ourselves. And let's say the original goal was to make, 200,000 a year or whatever, and you 10X that. Oh my goodness. And you land somewhere in the 500,000 range. So you missed your targets, but my goodness, you more than doubled your actual output. That sounds like a good strategy. I think a lot of times we misestimate the effort that it takes to get stuff done. And one of the first things I had to learn how to do when I was becoming successful is reduce the amount of time it takes to get stuff done, to induce a bit of urgency upon myself. And if I trust myself, well, then I can give myself a directive and follow it, but follow it alone. No, that brings us back to, the seeking of guidance, mentoring, all the stuff that we're learning in the accelerator process. And hopefully that you're getting, part of here. And hopefully you're not sitting in the back of the room with your arms folded thinking he's talking to everybody but me. You want to be a part of rather than apart from. We're going to talk about this more in the psychological aspect of this and how we accelerate our own evolution. Through a certain principle, which I'm going to be sharing with you all. In fact, sharing with one of you today on our live business launch strategy session. I am so looking forward to doing that with each of you. That's like the main course. All this is the hors d'oeuvre tray. We're going to get to the main course with some of you here pretty soon. And if you're going through the accelerator process, sorry, I've got a garbage truck outside my window right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that, but they're very enthusiastic. Yes. So, but as you're going through the accelerator process, you want to be getting with your accountability reps daily. And some of you are just discovering who that is. Please make sure that you're in communication with your accountability reps. The key to this is consistency. As I think some of you are discovering, some of you who are showing up here every day, I'm seeing some familiar faces. And I'm really glad about that. By the way, this is all for you. I say, tongue in cheek, this is for me, right? Because I get stuff out of whatever I hear come out of my mouth all the time. Some of it's really, really awesome. I got to remember to do this stuff. But truly, right? If Rachel and the staff and the administrators and all that, if they didn't care about your goals, if they didn't want your success story, remember, that's part of our pay. That's part of our pay, is we get to see you go make a spectacle of yourself and go be an example to other people who right now are sitting in the cubicle wondering, what life's about and is there any hope for me? And they can't relate to John, right? Or Rachel, but now they see you. Oh my goodness, Rebecca did it. Maybe I can do it too, right? Think about this, guys. Think about the effect that you're going to have beyond just you, making money and buying Lamborghinis or whatever you're into. Okay. There's a bigger game afoot here. There is. All right. It's big. You're a part of it. So anyway, I'm actually going to keep it brief today. Can you imagine that? That just happened. The floor is open. Who would like to come out and share the stage? Please be my guest. We've got a bunch of people here.
I'm from New
Mics are
York.
open.
I'm fast. You guys got to be faster. I just, whatever. This is slightly off topic, but of course it relates. I know I will, especially the way you placed it today. All my goals are met already. I am getting back to living in the end, which I've done before, but I'm going to re-practice and become more expert. But in the meantime, I have caches that I can't clear. And I'm just wondering if there's the last 3 days I've been having, it goes along with the stupid condition I have, but I feel that I should be able to control that a little better. Is there any advice you can give on how to clear this old programming, which is so strong? I'm probably older than all you people. But,
yeah, that's an enormous conversation. I can give you some ideas on that. Definitely beyond the scope of what we're doing here, but Missy, I've got your number, you've got my email, you've got everything, right?
I don't have your email. I don't have the accelerator program yet either.
Okay, well, we got to get you with Ted, like now, or whoever you're.
For 5 minutes, yes, 5 minutes, but he said he just wants to email, but.
Let's get you into the accelerator program. And I can tell you that there are practices and exercises and philosophies that I've applied to the best of my ability and over long periods and at great expense to get my own head out of where.
Well, from now on, instead of yesterday, the day before that, all I did was bemoan that I'm back on old programming. But after today, I can say I'm better than that. So
well, then you're already doing it. You're already doing it. Maybe that affirmation is kicking in. My old programming falls away from my personality easily and effortlessly. Maybe that's kicking in. I'll tell you what, and others can corroborate this. Be my guest in the chat or directly, with Missy. But it's ostensibly you are different. Something's working. You are different. So
I am.
Oh yeah. I don't know who else sees that, but I see it plain as day. So keep showing up. And yeah, this is just the beginning. All right, let's get you to the accelerator program. You're doing fine. And if you want to go down the philosophical rabbit holes, I could show you all kinds of wacky stuff, like hardcore. Okay. So I've invested over $300,000 into my own development and education.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know some stuff and I can point you in some directions if you'd like. Again, it's beyond the scope of our business conversation today, but I'm really glad you're here, Missy, keep showing up, my friend.
If you give me
We
your
got-
email, I'll appreciate it before we leave.
Okay. Well, everyone knows John L at knowledgesource.com.au. I know somebody was asking about the mastermind group that I run as well. I'm not here to promote that to you, but anyone who knows how to spell my name can find me online and find out about that. We got Nayo and David and Judith. Hey, Nayo, you're up next.
Hi,
Hey.
morning, magnificent people from, I'm from New Zealand, and I've just so enjoyed all these daily success calls. They fire me up, they take me through the day, and I just get so amped. And thank you, John, for giving us and myself this opportunity. I think you're never too old to set another goal. You're never too old to set another target or have another purpose in life. My question is probably more on the side, and that is, do you know of any clergy or non-stipendiary people who do this for a living on top of their ministry? I say this because I come from a family of clergy in the Anglican Church, and I'll probably be the first one to venture into this field of e-commerce. And I'm just wondering, what advice or guidance or words would you share in your philosophical, magnificent mind of yours, John?
Keep laying on the accolades. Yeah. Tell me again how awesome I am. Well, we just talked about roles, right? So one role could be minister, and one role could be, the individual who actually, raises money for the ministry or for, life and whatever. So I don't know if there's something special, like, because, I've got, some other role that isn't this, that somehow precludes me from doing that. I don't quite get it. Are they people too? Of course they are. Do they eat food and breathe air and stuff? Yeah, of course. Right. Pay their electric bill. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
So, and maybe, not, in fact, not maybe at all. So here's our experiences up to this point, which might be clergy, ministry, what have you. And with that level of thinking, here's the creative, here's the coffee mug, here's the t-shirt, here's the, which nobody else quite came up with that, exact approach. It was a unique expression of that individual based on what? Based on their life experiences. Right. We had this conversation. By the way, I'm impressed that you're here at 5:42 in the morning. So glad you're here from down under there. So so you do have a 2-hour advantage over the Aussies, though. They're still asleep, right? So yeah. But that's the thing we talked about the other day, is because someone asked me about, would it be a high integrity move to put out something that I feel is sarcastic or offensive, or, well, no, of course not. Right. I gave the example of, drinking and drunkenness or drug use, right? Things like this, which I will have no part of. OK, other people go, do whatever you're going to do. Right. But for me, like, I couldn't put that out and sleep well at night. So that's just for me. OK, so, yeah, but great news. We got 7.5 billion people walking around on the planet, and they buy all kinds of stuff. Right. So anyway, I hope that answers your question, Nayo.
Yep.
Awesome. Very good. We do
I
have
trust
David.
you too.
What was that?
I trust you too. Bless
Oh,
you.
well, thank you. I trust me too, most of the time. Yeah, I'm still working on it. All right. We got David and then Judith. Hey, David, please.
Hey, hi. So I've been hanging out for about a week or so, and here attending the meetings and the welcome. And I thought I'd jump in and say hello and do a quick intro. And I love people. I love people a lot. In fact, I've got quite a bit of computer skills. I can build videos. I can build websites. I can do online teaching, on and on and on. But where I've spent my career has been helping people. That's because I love people so much. I did that instead of tech because I care about people. But there's no money in helping people. And I've helped work with people with schizophrenia and bipolar and depression, and so to help them solve those problems. But there's no money in it. And one of the things I was pondering over or musing over was the fact that you said the word roles. We have roles, and then you mentioned the word rules. And the only difference between the word roles and rules is you, the letter U. It's you. You make the difference. And so one of the things I would tell people in the groups is that at some point they cross a line and they become a bit delusional, or they may, if someone's dealing with schizophrenia or whatever, they cross one of this line of what's plausible reality. And so I was thinking about how each of these things that I've done, these projects I've done that I've invested time in, like learning how to do videos, make videos online or post them, or do teaching classes online, or whatever it may be, working on programming in Excel languages, et cetera, et cetera. Those are all like building planets in a universe. And our universe is very synthesized and very orderly. But one of the things I would tell people is, if you don't like this universe, the rules in this universe, then I suggest you make your own, because what you're doing is not working. Well, my universe, so to speak, was not working because there was no money in it. I mean, loved helping people, but what's going to change things for me right now is making some money, because my family's really suffered because of the line of work that I've chosen to do, which it didn't have a lot of benefit in it for them. It had a lot of emotional pay for me, but it didn't have a lot of benefit in it for them. So what I'm envisioning now is my new universe is being able to buy my wife an inexpensive house, and her being able to go to Macy's and buy a dress when she wants instead of going to Ross stores, and that would significantly change my life. And I believe that's totally doable. I really do, under this program. And it's going to be a matter of who you follow, who you listen to. And it's the same in my field. You either listen to someone who say you can get well, or you listen to someone who say you can't. And who you listen to is going to make all the difference in the world. And so what I'm really, really hopeful of, and I think I'm seeing it with all the support I'm getting in here, what I'm really hopeful of is that I'm not going to get somewhere down the line and go, oh, I spent this, invested all I could into it. And then I get to some point where I've spent more and more higher up in the programs, and I can't afford anymore, and then I'm out. Because that's what's typically happened when I go in online programs, is that they say, okay, you go this far, then you join this program, you invest another, $40 a month, and then it's $200 a month, and then it's $1,000 a month. And it gets so high that I'm eventually just out of it. And that's what I don't want to happen this time, because this universe that I'm envisioning is just totally, totally doable, I believe. And it's going to be connecting with the right people and being able to make it work. And I think that I have the skills to do it. And it looks like a great bunch of people. I'm really respecting what I'm hearing, and I'm loving the people in here. And I'm so thrilled and glad to be a part of it. I have a little bit of trepidation because I've done this multiple ventures and tried it. It gets to a point where they keep offering to buy this, to buy this, to buy this, and then I just can't continue it anymore. And so I'm hoping that's not going to be the case in that. And that's my one guarded fear, so to speak, in the whole program. But I just want to say I'm so glad to be aboard, and really, really grateful for you, John, and everybody else, Rachel and Adam, and I'm glad to be here.
Wow. That's David, everyone. And he knows stuff. Thank you. And talk about not first rodeo, right? That we were mentioning. Yeah, I liked your description of different universes. That's interesting. You and I can have a philosophical conversation about that as well. I think the thing though is, like we talked about or I like to talk about a lot with the newer people that are getting started, like with welcome sessions and stuff. I like to give some tips, and one of them is certainly to commingle theory and practical application. So if the anatomy of success itself is completing what you start, then the anatomy of failure would be not completing or never starting, right? So you've got other things which have, in the past, of course, which have not, bared fruit. Okay. It reminds me of this statistic. I don't know if this is exactly accurate, because 96.8% of all statistics are made up on the spot, but it's a joke within a joke, I guess. But but I heard that the average millionaire has failed in business 17 times.
And everything you've done in the past brought you up to where it is today. So how many failures? If you didn't fail that time, you may not be here today.
Good point, Andy. Right. So what history led up to this success? Right. Just like like Missy's been reading my book, I talk about the end of the movie. The dragon is slain, the princess is saved, hooray, right? Now we watch the movie from the beginning. We already know the end. We watch the movie from the beginning. Oh, look at the drama. Oh my goodness, he almost died, right? But we're not emotionally attached to it because we already know the end of the movie, right? So interesting stuff. Wow, you guys. Wow. All right. Judith's got her hand up for like an hour. Hi, Judith.
Hello, good morning. Oh, first of all, it wasn't an hour, it was like 3 minutes, so it's
I
okay.
know.
I know, right? I just couldn't figure out the little emojis. First of all, I want to just, I'm really excited to be here because I've been, like we had talked yesterday, I've been in an industry. I was 34 years, I was in the greatest industry, I thought, which I made a ton of money. I was very successful and I was very independent. I did it myself. But when you are working in any industry that is economically charged, you are at the will of the government. So I've always had something on the side. So I've been working on my Shopify for, oh my gosh, since October of last year. And this is kind of an off topic, but I love this training because you guys have set up this platform to where if you follow it, it has to be no fail because you're showing the systems, you're showing all the different programs, you're showing the Amazon, how you get set up with everything. The one thing I'm very disappointed with Shopify about, and I haven't gotten to Rachel's integration into the Shopify because I have a store. I've been working on a store. I've paid so much money to have my stores developed and what have you, but I am not technical. However, learning through this program, I am learning technical as far as this program goes, but I'm taking that information that I'm learning and I'm trying to integrate it into how to just wipe off what I've already paid off, write it off as a loss, and start again with my Shopify store. And I've been paying for that Shopify store for almost a year. And it's okay because now I see a different way to handle things. Yesterday, I talked to my daughters, 2 beautiful daughters. They're both older, successful, very successful, completely different. And I said, give me your, 5 to 10 best phrases. And let's talk about how, we can integrate that and make some great, design wear, logos, whatever. And I'm getting such support. And that's one of the things I wanted to say is talk to a few of your best friends. Maybe don't, or your family, share with them what you're doing. Get some feedback because everybody has so much different feedback, so many different sayings, so many different logos, so many different business ideas that, you know what, this has to be no fail. But I really love the integration and I'm not going to take up much more time, but I think the training is by far phenomenal. I've been trained by all the biggest banks in the world. I've been trained with all the biggest real estate companies in the world. Trust me, this is hands-on and it's step by step, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. I'm done speaking.
Awesome. Thank you, Judith. And thank you for sharing your experience with it because I can tell you that quite often I don't know like what effect am I having, how are you receiving that? And Rachel, the same way. We want you to be able to use this stuff and not have those stops, right? Whether they're, emotional or mental stops or whatever, but be able to actually implement this stuff and see the fruits of it. So that is very pleasing. And I will make sure that other staff members get to hear your feedback.
I'm motivated again. So you know what? If I'm motivated again, not one person on this panel could not be motivated because of this.
There it is.
Yay! Go
Wow,
Rachel.
we're witnessing resurrections here. This is awesome.
My goal is 2 million by in 2 years, so I'm going to do it. So
Fantastic! Wow! See that? And Missy, see that? There it is. So, thank you all. Wow, we're coming up on the top of the hour. I guess we'll do this again tomorrow. What do you guys think? Should we do this again tomorrow? Get together? Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
I'll switch you down. Okay.
It's a deal. That's a deal. We'll do that. In the meantime, get with your accountability reps and keep on trucking. All right. I will see you all real soon.